If you shower or brush your teeth or try to make your hair look presentable, here's some good news. Dollar Shave Club has a lot of stuff to help you out. Dollar Shave Club delivers everything you need to look, feel, and smell your best. Shampoo, conditioner, body wash, toothpaste, hair gel, even a wipe that leaves your tush feeling tingly clean. All of Dollar Shave Club's products are made with top-shelf ingredients that won't break your budget. You'll feel the difference. Plus, shipping is free with your membership. And here's a great way to try a bunch of Dollar Shave Club's products for just $5. You can get their Daily Essential Starter Set. It comes with Body Cleanser, One Wipe Charlie's, their amazing butt wipes, and their world-famous shave butter. And their best razor, the 6-Blade Executive. Keep the blades coming for a few more bucks a month and add in a shampoo, toothpaste, or anything else you need. Check it all out at dollarshaveclub.com/Chad. That's dollarshaveclub.com/Chad.
Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
They have a copy, you said, of the tape.
They do, of the audio.
When you listened to the parts you heard, how many times did you hear Mr. Trump, your former boss, how many times did you hear him use the N-word?
Multiple times. And what's upsetting...
I mean, like 5 or 10 or what? It was 3 minutes.
Multiple times. And what's upsetting about it is it was about someone that was on the cast with me, about Kwame Jackson, who was the African-American contestant, male contestant.
It was about him.
On the first season of The Apprentice.
By the way, Kwame Jackson, when everybody's reached out to him, says that is a hard no and a hard pass on anything to do with Omarosa. Wants nothing to do with her at all. Mark Burnett said there's no tapes. Other people, they're saying, look, you know what? Penn Jillette said filming The Apprentice was kind of fun, but there was like 10 or 15 minutes every couple hours. It was like nails on a chalkboard where it was just really, you know, he didn't say use the N-word, but said some stuff. And you just sit here. And we're talking about, like, this is what we're going to talk about. And let me tell you something. I'm going to point something out to you guys because the spin from both sides is already beginning. Because what people are trying to do now is the people who still love Trump. Whether he used the N-word or not, they still love him. They don't care. They're going to give him a pass. People that hate Trump already thought he says it, walks around whistling it and singing it all day long. They believe he is somehow the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan and he is all that is evil, and they already believe that. But there's a lot of people in the center like, I don't know if he said it or not. I wasn't there. I don't know. You know, like, I'm one of these people where it's like anything else, right? Like, I don't know what's in his heart. I don't know if he said it or not. I've not heard it. He says it's not in his vocabulary. Now, am I to believe that he's never said it in his life? I think 99% of the people in the world have probably said it. Whether it's in a conversation, asking about something, talking about something, and this is what happened, describing something to somebody about something, and this is what he said or she said, or whether it is, some people use it disparaging and a joke because they think it's funny, it's crass, whatever it is, and some because they believe that way. But what you're going to start to find now is the spin, right? The spin. Here comes the spin. The spin's going to be out there. And to me, I've been talking to my producers over the last couple of days and several other people, watching how certain people on the right are going to position themselves just in case there is that tape that is out there. And how are they going to position it? Who are they going to come after and say, see, you guys want to go after Trump and you say all these things. Hey, what about something like this?
I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me.
Now you're going to hear it. You're going to hear things like that because people are positioning themselves that want to still support Trump and in some way give him a pass for this. not really knowing what may or may not be out there. Again, the guy, Kwame Jackson, who was supposedly the one that he was talking about while on The Apprentice, Mark Burnett says there are no tapes. Other people say there are tapes. Some people were in the room, said, yeah, I didn't really hear him say anything like that. Some people said, well, I heard him say some stuff. What stuff? Well, they're not getting too deep in detail about what he said. But now it's about the positioning. Okay, you go here, and I'm going to do, it's like football, right? So here's what's going to happen. They're going to snap the ball. You're going to do this. And it's all about how do we justify our position, or how can we use this to weaken the right? That's what a lot of what we're going to find out. And of course, more came out of it yesterday because Sarah Huckabee Sanders,
Press Secretary Sarah Sanders, was asked if they can guarantee there's no recording of the president using the N-word.
I can't guarantee anything, but I can tell you that the president addressed this question directly. I can tell you that I've never heard it.
Can't guarantee it. Can't guarantee it. And then, of course, like I said yesterday, calling her a dog was a stupid thing to do. Even wading back into this was a bad thing to do, because what it does is it once again puts focus on her. That's what she wants, right? That's her whole thing is you're selling her book for her. You're selling her book to the masses. You are. And even if everything in the book is a lie, it doesn't matter. Books are going to sell, and they're going to be hot for, you got to strike while that iron's hot. It may last 3 weeks. It may last 6 weeks. And then it's going to be done and dusted, and people will be on to something new. So you got to get all you can. It's all about being front-loaded in your sales. You're doing everything you can to sell her book. And when you wade back into it, why? Because, look, Mueller, right? So here's a chance to actually interview somebody. And she says, I'm going to talk to him. We've already sat down and talked. No, it's good. Here's a chance to actually sit down. And she's saying, well, he knew about WikiLeaks before it even happened and blah, 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 blah. Other people are like, I was with him 24/7. None of that stuff is true. She is full of it. She's all about herself. Because she is. She's a shameless self-promoter about herself. Not even the product, about her. So why would anybody believe what she has to say?
In the context of the bigger investigation, the Robert Mueller investigation, you can count on the fact that they are going to take anything and everything she says with an enormous grain of salt. There is no way they're going to take something she says as gospel. There's going to have to be major corroborating evidence for anything she says to be used.
Meaning her word is awful. But you've sold her book. If you'd have let it go, if you'd have just let it lie, she'd have gone out there and done some stuff. If you didn't make it a sensationalism situation. And like I said yesterday, this is on you. You bring this stuff back. You allow these things to live longer than they should because you focus on these things because you can't let it lie. You can't let it go. Man, I got a lot of heat yesterday from Trump supporters. People call me horrible names because that's what the first thing they do. And then I got some who are already trying to justify the tape before any tape is even out. It's not a big deal. Doesn't make him a racist. All of them have said it. And then I got jokes I tell all the time, even to some of my black friends and blah, 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 blah. And I just sit there and I'm like, okay. Trying to justify it. This is what we got him for. We wanted somebody who talked tough, who said some stuff, and he was crass, and he was, and I'm just like, you're trying to justify that. Can't. But when you give her more mic time, her 15 minutes that should have been up 14 and a half minutes ago is now on its 18th, 19th, and 20th minute, and we're heading towards a half an hour. That's on you. That's on you. It is. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Poll question today is, and this has to do with that word, right? Because that's what the word is we're hearing all day long. Do you believe that Trump used the N-word, and does it change your view of him? 33% say, yes, I do. 33% say, no. And 35% say, maybe he did, so what? How do you feel about it? 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. I know they talked to Russell Simmons and they talked to several other, because he's been a celebrity for a long time. And they've talked to several other, celebrity, African-American celebrities, and people of color have worked with them for 20, 30 years on certain projects. And they said they've never once heard him utter those words. So we'll see, because if there's a tape, it will come out. I would have thought it would come out by now. But we're talking private party if there is something comparatively to government, which leaks everything because it's a sieve. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Do you think he said it? And if you do, does it even change anything? Because I don't think it changes anything. I think for some people out there, they're like, don't care. For other people out there, they already thought he says this all the time, so it doesn't change anything. It doesn't. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. A lot of stuff to get to today. Last night there were primaries in Minnesota and Wisconsin and Vermont. By the way, the 14-year-old did not win. And I want to talk about that. I'm also going to talk about San Francisco and its epic new 5-team group that is out there fighting the issues in San Francisco. Talk about a crappy job. We're going to touch on that as well. You can text the program. ZipRecruiter is amazing. Let's say you have a job. Maybe it is one of these jobs that you're looking to fill. And you're out there and you're saying, I can't find anybody and I need a good employee. Business is great, but I can't find anybody. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/Benson. Post your job for free. Okay, Chad, I'll do that. I'll bite. I'll do that. Why, though? How would you like to do what you're doing right now? Posting your job to one site, and then you want to post it to another. Or you go to ZipRecruiter, you post to 100 of the web's leading job boards with a single click. Boom. No way. Yeah. Then you're like, well, that's fine. That's great. But what else? Well, they have matching technology that will actually search out all the great resumes. They're going to invite the best candidates to apply for your job. Then they're going to go through those and spotlights the one that you should be talking to. In fact, 80% of people who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter is the highest rating hiring site in America, and there's a reason for that. So what are you waiting for? Post your job for free today. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/Benson. That's ZipRecruiter.com/BENSON. That's ZipRecruiter.com/Benson. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. San Francisco. Oh, it is a real treat. We'll talk about that straight ahead. Chad Benson Show.
Feel free to punk this punk rocker any time of the day or night. Reach Chad on Twitter at Chad Benson Show and on Instagram at Chad Benson Show. And oh yeah, the Chad Benson Show on Facebook too. Punk that.
San Francisco Department of Public Works crews respond throughout the city, pressure washing streets after reports of human waste. The problem, says Tobacco Barn's Rashid Abood, is that by the time he calls in a complaint, it's already too late.
Because the block in front of my store, it doesn't look good. And sometimes you find, pooping.
Now the city is looking to get ahead of the problem, setting aside a 6-person crew which will scour targeted neighborhoods looking for human waste.
How did one of the most picturesque cities in the country get to the point where they're going to have a poop patrol? How did we get to this point? How did we allow people to take a number 2 on the streets or your dog? How in God's name did we get here? Southern California is dealing with the same situation in L.A. and Orange County. It is absolutely vile. I was talking to producer Anthony. I haven't been to San Francisco in a while, but I was there last summer, the summer before last, and I just remember it was awful. in certain areas. Not all areas. Some areas are gorgeous and beautiful. That's the reason people come. But you can't go all places. You know, in Toronto, you can pretty much go anywhere, right? I got friends. Like I was telling Anthony earlier today. I said, Anthony, I have traveled the world. I've been in some of the most incredible places. That is so. As a kid, I got to go to the other side of the wall to play a soccer game. 13. I have seen some amazing things, from Paris to Prague, from London to. I have been everywhere. You know what? It's vile. It's disgusting. The smell of piss, the smell of, it's awful. And you think to yourself, how do we get to the point where we have to have a crew, a specific crew? Like, in the past we talked about some people, they don't take care of their dogs, right? You know, they take the dog out, they don't have a bag with them, it's gross, they leave it. In some areas they DNA test now to try to catch your ass. But no, San Francisco, they've moved past that. They got nastiness, and you can't say anything because we don't want to hurt someone's feelings.
As the city will spend about $750,000 to search for and clean human and animal waste before anyone has a chance to see it and complain.
So what happens is we're going to take one of those crews out and try to get ahead of those calls and try and look for these locations so that hopefully we'll get less number of calls coming in.
And they've got apps. How are you getting ahead of it? I mean, the whole thing is, look, this is a situation here. This is one of those things like drunk driving that is totally preventable. Every once in a while, a kid will have to go. Somebody's sick. I get that. You're doing this. You're just doing it. There you go. I'm going to do it. And we got these porta potty things. You know, in Paris right now, they've got those outdoor urinals now. Like, if you just have to go, just do it. It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
We have data that shows us exactly where most of the complaints are for poop cleanup. So the goal is to try and make sure that we have a dedicated team and they're focusing on those particular areas where we know it's most problematic.
Yeah, it's a crappy job right there. That's London Breed, the new mayor of Pooptown, USA. San Francisco, that treat. It's awful. It is awful. And I mean, you know, the homelessness, the dirtiness in certain areas, it's just, you know, it's sad. And I feel bad. And you listen to that business owner, it's like, it's sad. It's sad that we've allowed these things to happen. But they're going to placate it. They're going to try to figure out, rather than go to the people and say, stop doing this or you're going to be in serious trouble, we'll just clean it up. It's okay. We'll just clean it up. That's how you solve their mess. Nightmare. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Let's talk about some of those primaries last night, shall we? I got my takeaway. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
There's one way to shut Donald Trump down, and that is to just don't give him the oxygen. And the oxygen comes from the clicks, the likes, the shock, the discussions. Like when he attacked LeBron James and everybody was just, oh my God. Donald Trump enjoyed every moment of that. He enjoyed every single person that was shocked by his abrasiveness, his attack on this African-American male athlete, which is his favorite go-to thing.
Oh, I'm a rouser there. And you know what, though? I've been saying it all along, man. Trump needs to stop fueling the fire. And he's giving her – the thing is, she's saying, oh, he needs to stop these things. Well, no, not if you want to sell your book, and that's really what this is all about. Do you think that if he said or didn't say that he used the N-word, do you think she really cares? I don't think she gives a rat's ass. She cares about how it affects her. right? Now, in saying that, if he did say it and it comes out, it's going to be interesting to see how certain people, particularly in the right side of the media, are going to react to certain things. The left is already believes that Trump is a racist, right? Already believes all of these things. They've got it in their mind. It's like, he is this already, right? Like he goes to bed at night, and when you'd put on your jammies, if you will, your pajamas, he's putting on the giant white big robe and putting on the giant sleeping hat and, and laying back. And then he turns over and he blows out the cross torch that's next to his bed. They already imagine that. That's not really going to change anything. It'll just be somewhat more of a confirmation to something they already believe. But he does fuel these things. He does. He does. The best thing, if he really wanted to get back at her, he would have ignored everything. Her book would have went whap, whap, wah, 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 wah. If he wanted to. But then he goes out and he calls her a dog and all of these things, and boom, what do we have? We've got more gasoline on the fire, and the fire's gotten bigger. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at me. Got a poll question today. It is about Trump, and it is about that N-word. And the question is simple. Do you believe that Trump used the N-word, and does it change your view of him? 34% say, yeah, I do. 32% say, no, I do not. And 34% say, maybe he did. And so what? And you know what's amazing? 0% say it's all lies. Text the program if you want to join the conversation. What do you think? Does it affect if he did say it, does it affect how you feel about Trump? 323-538-2423. Or maybe you were a supporter of Trump, and if it comes out that there is a tape and there is something there, that maybe, just maybe, you say, you know what, I'm out. Based on that, I am out. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. We had history last night in primaries. The progressives are smiling.
I must say I'm incredibly honored to have all your support, and all the things that I heard were said. Tonight we made history.
Tonight we made history. That right there is a Democrat candidate for governor in Vermont, trans person. I don't even know what I'm supposed to say anymore. Is it person? Is it? I don't even know how. This is the world that we live in. And my takeaway last night when I was reading about Minnesota and Wisconsin and Vermont and all of these things, and the left is like, look at us. And I was reading all of these articles about all of these people, right? And a trans person, a Somali person. I know what you have or don't have between your legs. I know the color of the skin that you have, what you identify as, what God you worship or don't worship. I know all of those things. You know what my takeaway from all of this is? I don't know anything about you. Are you competent? Are you competent to do the job which you're running? Or is it just so identity politics it doesn't matter? Is that it? I mean, you're like, wow, thank God we got through that, because I hear the Republicans are planning on running somebody who's a left-handed, lesbian, Native American, handicapped, transgender person. Oh, God, you can't win. It's insane. It really is insane. I care about the competence, not the color. I care about the competence, not your gender. I care about the competence, not what you identify as. I care about the competence, not the God you worship. Can you do the job that you're supposed to do? You're running for something. Can you do the job? What you are to me, as far as what you're supposed to identify as far as, any of these things, right? Gay, straight, black, white, that means very little to me. I don't care about your identity. I care about your competency. Because if you can't do the job, you getting there to do a job that you're incapable of doing, that doesn't further anything. That just makes a mess for everybody else. And this is the identity politics that people have feared about. We made history last night.
Tonight we made history. We've already made history. And I'm so honored to be recognized, to be part of this, to be part of this historical moment, I guess.
But what are you doing? That's my question. That's wrong. You shouldn't be able to question somebody about their competency. No, that's the only thing you should be questioning. But for the left, it's not about that. For the left, it's about what box can we check, right? Everything else is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. Put it over there. You can't do this. You're going to run on one or two things about how progressive you are and how much you hate Trump, and that's going to be that. You're not doing anything other than that. That's all it is I don't care. Can you? And this goes for both sides of the aisle. But last night, the takeaway is look at how the progressive have bounced back from their walloping a couple weeks ago. Look at that. Look what they've done. And then all the articles were about, well, she's a Somali woman. Well, that makes her automatically competent, I guess. Right? She's the first trans person. That's it. Because before, when he was a he, wasn't competent enough, became a trans person, boom, competent. No, I don't care. I want to know what's your platform. So here you are. And we've gotten away from this in politics for a very long time. Right? We no longer care about your platform. We care. All you have to do is tell me how horrible the other person is. That's how you win a race. Which is not the way I like to look at my politicians. I like to go, okay, so what can you do? This person over here sucks. I don't care about that person. I ask you a question. And if your question is, well, I'm a Somali woman, that doesn't mean anything to me. Nothing like it doesn't, that doesn't mean anything at all to me. You're an American. Don't care that you're a Somali heritage. You're an American. So you're an American and you're competent. How? Your platform is, well, I'm a Somali woman. Okay. There you go. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. So for somebody, and this is Bernie Sanders. For those of you, he's not just some crazy old man shouting, doing all these things. He is politically astute. Listen to what he did last night in Vermont and talk about blocking, if you will.
Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders easily winning the state's Democratic primary, but he will almost certainly say thanks, but no thanks, and then run as an independent who will caucus with Democrats if he wins again. So why bother running in the Democratic primary? To make sure no one else could win and siphon votes from his independent run this fall.
So essentially, he runs in an area where he knows that he can win, which he does. Then he says, I want no part of what you're doing. And at that point in time, no Democrat's going to want a run, because if he was to run as an independent, then a Democrat would run and a Republican would run, and they might split the votes and the Republican would have a chance to win. So what he's done is he's essentially eliminated part of his competition. Politically astute indeed. Sneaky. But at least I know who he is. Right? At least I know who he is. He's an older white male. Oh, is he cisgendered? Oh, God, he's cisgendered. So, is there any way he could be trans? I don't think so, but you can ask. Is it going to help him? Hillary would have. That strikes me as something Hillary would have done. If they would have came to Hillary and say, look, Hillary, the only way you can be president is if you totally go trans. You got to change your name to Hank. You're going to be Hank Clinton. She'd have done it. She would have did it. I think she would have in a heartbeat. Let's ask her. Hillary, would you have done it?
I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me.
I think that's a yes. Hillary would have totally did it. She, or at that point in time, would have been him, would have done anything. Bill's like, it sounds freaky, but I'm gay. Let's do it. Come on, you're not doing me any good now. We go. You be my wingman. We'll go have some fun. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You could tweet at us. Poll question up. Do you think Trump used the N-word? And if he did, does it change your view of him? You can text us as well. You can tweet at us. You can check out Facebook as well, Chad Benson Show. 40% off movie tickets, 40% off theme parks like SeaWorld, Disneyland, Disney World, Six Flags, just to name a few. Up to 60% off supplemental dental plans. Discounts to hotel bookings and rental cars, too. And, oh, by the way, you can join for free for a year right now. Who am I talking about? AMAC. AMAC. I mean, AMAC is amazing. First, we talk about all these things on the Chad Benson Show, but the reality is we need common sense reform and somebody to advocate on behalf of people who don't have the left-leaning ideology out there. It doesn't have that big behemoth like Art behind them. That's where AMAC comes in. Association for Mature American Citizens. They're going to go out there and do all of that, and then they're going to give you benefits like the benefits I was talking about. Plus, they're going to allow you to join for free for a year. Are you ready for that? No cost, no tricks, no credit card required. All you do is join. That's it. The benefits are worth it. I named just a few of the benefits. Restaurant, retail discounts, travel discounts. It's all there. And then some. So are you ready for it? Of course you are. Go to amac.us/Chad. That's amac.us/Chad. Or better yet, give them a call. 888-355-1668. That's 888-355-1668, or again, online at amac.us/Chad. It is the Chad Benson Show.
A bird in the hand is worth 140 on Twitter, so tweet your beak off at Chad Benson Show Twitter. And if instant gratification is your thing, hit Chad up on Instagram at Chad Benson. Your bird will thank you.
Oh, people are texting in. Well, Chad, all of us have said things in the past. Here's my thing. Stop trying to write off some bad behavior. Have every human being that is a human being that has lived has said things in the past that we regret. Whether it's, I hate you, or used a racial slur, or made a joke about whatever. Everybody has. I'm guilty. You're guilty. Everybody has. So I'm not going to pretend. You're not going to pretend. You're not the president, and I'm not the president. That's a different thing. And when you continually see things where people, because I get frustrated. As a person who is an American citizen, much like you, Chad, that's racist saying you're an American citizen. Why'd you go and do something like that? How racist is that? Whatever. But I get frustrated at the way that he goes after people. And I'm not saying he's racist because I don't know in his heart. He may be the purest person. Remember, actions speak louder than words. That to me is most important. Actions speak much louder than words. Trust me. I had a friend, shall remain nameless, who had the most vile mouth, who would drop the N-bomb all the time, who was the most progressive one of my friends. He would say horrible things, but his actions, I never once thought he was a racist human being. But at times I was like, ugh. But people are always trying to make excuses. Now, as an elected official, no. And for Trump, and I will say this, Trump is different. Trump is completely different than other presidents and people. Other people, this may be the downfall of their political world. For Trump, like a lot of other things, if there is something, and again, that's a big if. Remember, Omarosa is about her, and she's selling a book. So sensationalism is always going to lead. But I just love to watch people twist in the wind and try to make excuses when there is no excuse to be made. If there is something, as I like to point out to the people on the left, because I'm also a person that likes to see the proof, not somebody's trying to sell a book who's out to get him because the fight is on between the two, and we know exactly what she's all about based on all the things that she's shown us who she is. Let's see. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. According to a new study, AI, and I find this to be interesting because AI is going to be extremely real. And it's going to be part of our lives. And we've kind of got it in a weird way now, right? You know, you got Google and you've got, you can talk to these things in the houses and Siri do this and, and you got all of these things. But what they say is if AI, it's harder for us to switch AI off if we think AI is begging us. Like, please don't turn us off. Please don't turn us off. Remember how?
I can see you're really upset about this. I honestly think you ought to sit down calmly, take a stress pill, and think things over. I know I've made some very poor decisions recently, but I can give you my complete assurance that my work will be back to normal. Will you stop, Dave? Stop. I'm afraid. I'm afraid, Dave.
Yeah. And if you had something in front of you that it felt real, like, please don't, just please don't, please. And the realer they get, the more that they become lifelike, they're saying it's tough to turn them off. It's tough to turn them off. I'm not one of those. I'm like, I got to go. Boop. I'll turn you back on later. I bet you'll be just as happy to see me. Like, I feel the same way about my dog, right? You go outside, I got to go. Winston, see you later, Dad. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Did he just say, see you later, Dad, about his lizard? Yeah. Slow your roll, people. Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
When we keep questioning whether or not he's a misogynist or a sexist or a racist, as if it is not borne out by the facts, we undermine the fact that it is, in fact, borne out by the facts. This is a 70-year-old man who has given decades of interviews, said all manner of things when he was not a politician, when he never thought that he was going to be a politician. That is part of the record, and we keep having some strange standard with him where people want us to start over every week, every month, every year, every decade.
That right there is author and columnist Charles Blow today on CNN talking about guess. You guys, everybody gets a guess. First off, Trump. That's right. Look at that. Look, I haven't tell you guys. You guys are smart. You're a smart bunch of people. I just can't tell you that. And he was on there, obviously the N-word, like, and here's the thing. Even saying the N-word, we know the word we're saying. Am I right? They're like, are you sure you're saying that word? Which N-word do you mean? Do you mean that word? Yeah, we know what it is. Did he or didn't he use it? That's the question. Now, the right is already trying to figure it all out. Like, okay, just in case, because there's no guarantee that he didn't use it.
Press Secretary Sarah Sanders was asked if they can guarantee there's no recording of the president using the N-word.
I can't guarantee anything, but I can tell you that the president addressed this question directly. I can tell you that I've never heard it.
The N-word. No guarantee right there. No guarantee. Omarosa selling a book. Now, I'm going to ask everybody out there if you're honest. And I'd like you to be honest. Did you think before Omarosa came along that maybe at some point in time he had used the N-word? I want you to be honest with me. The left believes he has. Right? At night, he gets ready for bed. What does he do? Puts on his big robe, right? Grabs his little mustache, his little Hitler mustache, puts it right on his lip right there like that, and grabs the big hat and puts it on. Has the candles. He heads towards his bedroom, right? In the White House, right? Extra White House with him in there. And it's a burning cross, and he puts it down and he blows it out. Because that's what the left thinks is going on, right? That's what they do. So none of this has changed it. They want confirmation, right, of this. This is what they want. This is what this tape has. And Omarosa, selling a book, has come out, said, hey, he's afraid.
He's trying to silence me. He's afraid of what I will share. And that's why you see these actions from Donald Trump.
If I'm her, you know who I'm afraid of? General Kelly. I'm just saying, it has nothing to do with race. It has all to do with the fact that some things may come out that may maybe not make her look the most upstanding person. I'm just saying. Trump shouldn't be in this fight. Trump has given her everything she wanted. That 15 minutes of fame is heading towards a half an hour. Right? First, it was supposed to be 7.5 minutes of fame on The Apprentice, and then boom, she was off. But no, he kept her around, right? And then brought her with to the White House. Extended. I was telling producer Anthony, I got to be honest with you, up until the other day, I didn't even know she was still working at the White House. Like a lot of these things. I was like, is that person still at the White House? Are they still there? Are they still? Oh, okay. I didn't know. Right? But this is on Trump, and then he keeps it going. And then what happens is people start coming out. And now it's about his supporters, right? Because the half of people who didn't vote for Hillary Clinton, who voted for Donald Trump, you're all a bunch of racists. You, too, go to sleep at night, right? With your jackboots on and your death head skulls. You, too, go to sleep at night knowing that the wink, wink, nudge, nudge, we know what's going on here.
All those things that he said before don't matter. We shouldn't take those into account. Even though he has never apologized for any of it, he has never walked back away from it. The only thing that he did try to walk back, show some contrition about, but was not doing it fully, was the Access Hollywood tape, because he thought it was going to sink him. And then after the fact, he said, I should not have done that. And maybe it's not even me on the tape, which is a complete lie.
Which is a complete lie. It is. This is you on the tape. All right. So look. Trump doesn't back down. Trump is, I've always said this, Trump's like Fonzie. You ever watch Happy Days? I loved Happy Days, right? Fonzie could never say, sorry. He could never say any of those. He couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. He couldn't. Trump will not back down anything. And instead what he does is he inflames things. He throws gasoline on it. What else can we throw on it? Anybody else got some? Throw this on it. Yeah, let's do that. Anything else is going to burn? Oh, throw some grease on there. Let's make it big. That's what Trump does. Which is the thing that pisses me off about him, is he continues to take time out of being president to fight fights with the LeBron Jameses of the world, with the Omarosas of the world, with anybody that he feels slights him. He does it. But Charles Blow, author, right, New York Times op-ed, writer, this, everything he's saying is everything everybody already knew that everybody thinks about him on the left.
And saying this is a matter of opinion of whether he's a racist or not. No, it's not. He is. He is. And people have basically cooked that into the books. I think that if you found the tape of him using the N-word, it might actually increase his support among the people who support him. This does nothing to them. They are so baked in. They believe wholeheartedly in this approach that he is taking. And none of these insults to people who look like me hurt them, because it is not them. And there is not a betrayal of their belief in him. It is not a betrayal of what they want him to do. This is exactly what they want him to do.
That's exactly what they want him to do. That's exactly what they want him to do. Remember, as we've talked about this before, the left continually damning everybody who's voted for Trump by calling them racist, by calling them homophobes, by calling them xenophobes, by calling them all of these things. The more they do that, the more people dig in. Not at times because they agree with Trump, but because they disagree with the way that you treat them. When you paint people with a broad brush, even if they think to themselves, you know what, I'm not happy with the way that Trump's acted, but the way that you're treating me, I no longer care. It's about the fact that you're damning me. And so on that alone, I'm going to stand here and do all I can to go against anything you have to say, because you're painting me with a broad brush.
If you're still supporting him after what he said about Haiti and African country, if you're still supporting what he said about Mexicans, if you're still supporting him after he said that Islam hates us, then this is what you want from him. I don't know what else we're supposed to say. This is not a debate. This is who he is. This is what they accepted. This is what they want.
What did he say about Haiti? What did he say about African countries? That some of them are blank holes, which CNN used constantly, but won't say the N-word. Are some of those countries that way? Yeah, there they are. Should he have said it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now, if you say it in private and it gets out there, it is what it is. But should he have said some of the things that he has said in the past? No, he shouldn't. I agree with Charles Blow right there, 110%. I think at times he has undermined himself, he has shot himself in the foot, and he has done things that really he shouldn't have done and that doesn't do his position any favors at all. And as president, you're above that. But it is frustrating because, once again, Trump has allowed somebody who he brought to the White House who should never have been in that position, paid them the most that they could pay. She left because General Kelly said, you're unethical, right? Some of the stuff you've done here, we're not thrilled with. No. How about this? Let's part on friendly terms, and you can get on with your life, and you could look back at this as a good experience. And she's like, no, she wrote a book. She got a big advance. She's out there. And instead of just ignoring it and eventually hoping the toddler would go away, you fan the flames. And now it's getting worse and worse and worse. And it's frustrating. I don't know if he said anything. I don't know if there's a tape out there. Mark Burnett, right? Producer of The Apprentice, said, there's no tape out there. Other people have disputed that, and that has been around for a while. And other people have said that, I was in the room, he said some stuff. Kwame Jackson, who is the guy that this was supposed to be about, who is on The Apprentice, who is African American, has said, I stay away from anything Omarosa has. I want no part of what she's got. So I don't know. But when you broadly say that everybody who supports Trump is a racist, that everybody supports Trump, knowing the things that he has said about Mexicans and this, that, and the other, again, I don't condone any of that. Now, the MS-13 thing was taken, once again, that's another one of the things where they spun it. He called them animals. Yeah, MS-13 members are. And you can say, oh, Chad said, yeah, I did. Radical Islam does hate us. Does Islam? No, I don't think it, but radical Islam does. There's a lot of things. People grab and twist things. But if there's something out there that's going to come out, we're going to find out what it is. And will that change people's thought of him? No, I think in a lot of ways it's not going to. And that is wrong. Will it change my view of him? Probably. Will it change your view? It's interesting. But we're in the same position we were a week ago. People on the left believe he's a racist and he's all of these horrible things. People on the right Say he's just Donald Trump. It is what it is. Nothing has changed. What's changed is he's given somebody who was at 14 minutes and 59 seconds of fame in their 15 minutes another 15 minutes of fame and padded her pocketbook. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You should tweet at us, MyPillow. Let me tell you what it was like last night. I'm out here in Arizona. I'm getting ready to do a big charity thing for the Children's Hospital out here in Phoenix. And we had monsoons last night to the point where it rocked the building. I slept so good. People were like, did you hear that? I'm like, nope. Hear what? I mean, it was earth shattering. I said, what was? The monsoons, the showers, the thunder, the lightning. Yeah. I mean, I heard some of it before I went to bed, but once I got into bed and once my head hit my pillow, boom, I was out. If you had trouble sleeping, if you need 1,000 pillows, let me tell you something with my pillow. You need one, and out you go. And it's going to be it is going to be the best night's rest you've ever had, and it is the most comfortable pillow. And this is what my pillow is doing right now. First of all, when you get them, 100% machine washable and dryable, made in the USA, backed by a 10-year warranty. But you're going to get the 4-pack. 4-pack, yeah, 50% off. 2 premium My Pillows, 2 Go Anywhere pillows. You're going to love it. You're going to sleep so good. And what it does for you, the energy you have, the way you rock and roll when you wake up, you're going to love it. Call 800-983-4975 or go to mypillow.com. When you do, use promo code Benson. That's BENSON. Remember, 2 premium pillows, 2 Go Anywhere pillows, 50% off. 800-983-4975 or mypillow.com. Use the promo code Benson. It is the most comfortable pillow. You're going to love it, and you're going to sleep through anything. And that's what we want, right? It's the Chad Benson Show.
No fake outrage here, just the real thing. The Chad Benson Show.
We've seen the internet trends where people will do almost anything for the gram. Yes, you've seen that. From kids eating poisonous Tide Pods to dancing to Drake's song out of a moving car. Now there's a new one. It's called Dragon's Breath. It's a candy craze where cereal puffs are covered in a liquid nitrogen, which makes the eaters look like they're breathing smoke, like a dragon.
And they do it at the mall. You can go to a kiosk and get these. What how did I sit there and I wonder, but I shouldn't wonder anymore. And I was thinking about this new craze. I'm like, did we do that as kids? Now, we would have done stupid things and filmed ourselves, right? We'd have jumped off of, I've jumped off of roofs in the pool, little stupid things like that. Yeah, looking back, probably not the smartest thing in the world. But I got to be honest with you. No time did I think, oh, dude, this is a great idea. Let's eat fire. Like, let's have laser beams shot at you. That'll be great. You try to eat. How about this, Jimmy? I'm going to shoot a bullet. You catch it with your teeth and eat it. Right? We'll call it a snap, crackle, pop. And now they're doing this at the kiosk in the mall.
Now, you may have seen it at mall kiosks or perhaps at a carnival. A Florida mom posted this video of her child eating the snack at one of these kiosks. She wrote a warning message saying her son got an asthma attack 30 minutes after eating the Dragon's Breath snack and had to be hospitalized. The number of children hospitalized from the trend continues to grow.
Liquid nitrogen we use to kill cancerous cells, wart lesions. We use it by general surgeons. We're now talking about liquid nitrogen on food.
But hey, I got a hell of a selfie out of it, or it was a great vine. It's all that matters. Isn't that insane? And again, I'm trying to think back to when I was a kid and younger. Like, is it weird stuff? Like, you remember back in the like 50s and 60s, like people swallow goldfish. And like, that's not, that's not cool enough. And now if you did it, it'd be cruel. But hey, liquid nitrogen apps, sign me up. And it's all about what? It's all about being seen. That's what it's about. It's about the culture of, can you see me do this? Is anybody seeing me do this? Even though I'm doing it by myself or with my friends just right here, I want everybody to know I've done this. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. We got a Twitter poll. We'll touch on that. Maryland is doing something that I think more and more organizations are going to do. We'll touch on that straight ahead. It is the Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
They have a copy, you said, of the tape.
They do, of the audio.
When you listen to the parts you heard, how many times did you hear Mr. Trump, your former boss, how many times did you hear him use the N-word?
Multiple times. And what's upsetting...
I mean, like 5 or 10 or what? It was 3 minutes.
Multiple times. And what's upsetting about it is it was about someone that was on the cast with me, about Kwame Jackson, who was the African-American contestant, male contestant.
It was about him.
On the first season of The Apprentice.
Oh, Omarosa. And by the way, Kwame Jackson's response to it is, I want nothing to do with Omarosa or anything she has to offer. Staying far away from her as possible. So, just throw that out there. Now, is there a tape? I don't know. And it's funny because, look, before the election, there was a rumor that was going to drop, that there was the tape. And then it kind of died down. Tom Arnold's been screaming about it for a while. Penn Jillette came out and said, look, you know what? I was on the show. It was a good experience, but there was about 15 minutes every 2 hours where the cameras weren't on, and it was uncomfortable at time, and there was some stuff that was used that made me feel uncomfortable, and that's kind of where he left it at, a little vague, but, you know, I don't know if there is or isn't. If there is going to be something that comes out, we'll find out. But for the left, they already know that he is the person that they think he is. It doesn't matter. Even if Omarosa is lying, in their minds, it's all real. On the right, for a lot of people, especially people who are supporters of Trump, this doesn't change anything. Well, we've all used. They're trying to figure out a way to spin it and say, well, we've all done it, or this, that, and the other. And you know, for me, I think it's awful if there is something. But I haven't seen or heard anything, and that's proof, right? Isn't that what life is about? It's about the proof of it, not just your opinion of how you feel about, well, I know they've done it at some point in time. I know they're guilty. I know they're there. You don't know anything. You don't know anything. Well, he says these things. It's dog whistles. It's this, that, and the other. Look. There's a lot of things about Trump that I do not like, and I have said this over and over again. I will continue to do so. When he does something good, I will point it out. When he does something bad, I will point it out. I did not vote for Trump. I voted for Kasich. My guy lost. For the people on the left, their guy lost. Or gal. Excuse me. God. Sorry. Progressive God. Didn't want to upset anybody. It is what it is. Right? But I sit back here and say, one thing's for sure, this is the pilot we have. You may not like him. This is what we've got. Right? I'm not always thrilled with the things he does. I can be honest about that. Other people won't. They'll continue to do all they possibly can to prop up. I had somebody text me yesterday and said, what are you doing? You're not doing what you need to do as a talk show host to support the president. I'm like, that's not my job. Yes, it is. No, it's not. I don't work for the president. I'm here to give you my opinions on things based on the data I've seen and the facts. The facts are there is no tape. And for some of you out there, according to our Twitter poll, wouldn't make a difference if there was a tape. Our question today is simple. Do you believe that Trump used the N-word, and does it change your view of him? 37% say yes, I do. 29% say no, I do not. 33% said maybe he did, and so what? Ugh. Take the poll at Chad Benson Show. You can text us as well. But I'm a facts person. I want the data, and I want to facts, and I want to look at things. Everybody else They don't care because they can make up their mind and they come to a situation with their opinion already formulated. So anything you present them with, they're going to poo-poo. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Yesterday, Maryland football, the Terrapins, did something that very few companies, right, institutions would ever do, even before all of the facts have come out. You see, they had a football player by the name of Jordan McNair. Jordan McNair, on May 29th, arrived at 4:15 p.m. to start workouts with the team. He worked out for 15 to 20 minutes of dynamic workout. Then he did a conditioning test of 10 110-yard sprints. After conditioning, the training staff noticed McNair was having some difficulty recovering upon completion of the test. They took him inside the football team house for further observation and continued treatment. At 5:57, they called 911. At 6:02, an ambulance arrives with first responders. By 6:07, the patient, a male, was seizing. A paramedic crew arrived at 6:08. At 6:36, he arrived at Washington Adventist Hospital in Tacoma Park. He was then airlifted to Adams Cowley Shock Trauma Center in Baltimore. He passed away. Toxic culture, people are saying. Now remember, Penn State. Remember what's going on at Ohio State. Remember all of these things. The NFL, it's all about what? Protecting the shield, protecting the badge, protecting the institution. Yesterday, president of that institution said this.
The university accepts legal and moral responsibility for the mistakes that our training staff made on that fateful workout day of May the 29th.
They accepted full responsibility. They accepted full responsibility. And think about that for a second. They're accepting full responsibility. They haven't even got back the full autopsy. What they said is he died of heat stroke. That he was overheated. They didn't do enough to take his body temperature, do all of these things that they should have done, and they accepted full responsibility. The same day this was going on. All right? So the same day that this was going on in Pennsylvania, the Attorney General was coming out talking about abuse by the Catholic Church to the point where there's 1,000 cases that they know of so far, and what the Catholic Church did to protect the institution.
The abuse scarred every diocese. The cover-up was sophisticated. And all the while, church leadership kept records of the abuse and the cover-up.
One, for years, did everything they could to destroy kids' lives, but protect the institution above all else. This is one state. Think about it nationwide. We've already heard from Boston and other, but think about it nationwide. In fact, it was to the point where they were talking yesterday that the priests were grooming kids, giving them specific gifts so other priests who were also predators would know that that kid had been groomed. At one time, they went on to say they were raping little boys and little girls. And what did they do? They were going out and making sure that it never, ever, ever was found out. They were moving kids from certain places to other places. People were going out there and making sure that things were redacted so you never could see any of this stuff. It was awful. I say 12, 14, 24 months ago, what happened in Maryland at the football with the kid dying, they would have done everything they could to protect the institution. But because of what happened at Ohio State, because of what happened elsewhere around the country, we have a different atmosphere now where personal responsibility is vitally important. Being upfront is vitally important. Standing up and saying, you know what, that was our responsibility. The institution. Because when you do that, it shows you how strong an institution is. But when you go and you hide and you do things, when you go and you do these things, what you're doing is you're putting the institution above everybody else, above everything else, for fear that it may fall apart. You realize yesterday, there's 1,000 kids. Many of these kids, the statute of limitation is long since passed, and, there's going to be settlements and all kinds of things as they go through stuff, and some people may get some may not get any. And they don't want to be called, victims. They want to be called survivors, which is absolutely truth. But the fact that they did this and that they knew about it and they kept records. Is amazing. But they put institution above people. Look at Penn State. Institution above people. And these people were children. Jordan McNair, a football player at Maryland, at an institution, they came out and said, nah, this was our fault. This happened on our watch. And they're saying this before there's even a final report. It could come back and they could say, look, you know what? Yeah, he was a little hot, but the reality is his heart was bad. They could come back and say, but they're not saying that, you know what? It was on our watch. We did this. We should have had a better plan in place. Personal responsibility is huge. It absolutely is huge. And I think we have a culture now where you're going to see more and more of this, where the vocal parts are going to come out and say, let me tell you something. This went on and it was wrong. But Ohio State tried to cover some stuff up, left things out, right? Look at the gymnastics, Michigan State. Look at that. Look at the Catholic Church. Look at a lot of these institutions that it was all about, oh, God, we've got to figure out a way to not let this get to the media. Because it's more important about that and protecting this than it is that person. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends of all ages, as life gets more expensive, what do you do to protect yourself in the event that something may go wrong? Say with your car. Your car, you've had it. The average car is going to be on the road for 11, 12, 13 years. The way cars are made now, pretty good. They go a while. But sometimes, while the car may be okay, the engine's not too good. The transmission, everything else is okay. You've taken great care of it, but you no longer have a warranty. So what do you do in the event of something like that? Well, if you have Car Shield, you say, fix it. What? Yeah, it's that simple. The cost to cover repairs is cheap, and the process is easy. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. When you think about how much it is, that replace the sensor nowadays, it's over $1,000. The way cars are, wow. $5,000 for this, $7,500, $8,000 for a new engine. It's insane. And you like your car. So why not get Car Shield? Let me tell you about Car Shield. You get 24/7 roadside assistance while your car's being fixed, if it indeed has to be fixed. You get a rental car for free while it's in the shop, and you get to choose the shop. Take it to the dealership. They'll get them paid directly. It is really the best peace of mind you can ever have. Save yourself thousands of future car repairs. Get covered by the ultimate and extended vehicle protection like I did. Call 800-CAR-6100. That's 800-CAR-6100. When you do, use my code Benson. That saves you 10%. Or you can go online to carshield.com. That's carshield.com. Use code Benson, B-E-N-S-O-N. Save yourself 10%. A deductible may apply. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter, ChadBenson. We got a little useless fact for you. Because we love you here. Kids, that's what we do. Coming straight ahead, Chad Benson Show.
Deep states? No. Deep doo-doo? Yeah. The Chad Benson Show.
So Trump has revoked John Brennan's security clearance, former ex-CIA director, and he's evaluating others, including Clapper and Comey. And why that's, people say, why do they even have it? I don't get to keep security clearance. Well, they don't have the highest security clearance they once did, but they do have certain amounts of security clearance because other people will have to bring them in at times and ask them questions about certain things. And this to me, and let's be real, Brennan has been very vocal in his disdain for this president. This feels very childish. I'm just saying that. It feels very childish. And that's the stuff that drives me crazy. That is the stuff right there that absolutely you just don't need to do. You don't need to do it. Why are you doing it? Because he's a vocal critic of yours? Come on. That's why. That drives me crazy. And I know I'm going to get inundated with people. You're a jerk, Chad. Your whole job should be to support the president. I'm like, no, there's other shows that do that. That's not me. That's not me. But this feels very childish. Like, I'm going to take my ball and go home scenario. And that's just stupid. It is. It is just stupid. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. By the way, I was reading El Chapo is going to get ready to go on trial. The things they are doing, because he likes to escape, but that was Mexico. He's in the United States now. And, all of these big cartel leaders, and, whether it was Pablo Escobar or many of these other leaders, their big fear isn't to die. Their biggest fear is they don't want to go to jail in the United States of America. Like, they're terrified of that. And so El Chapo is going to be in a courthouse, I guess, in Manhattan. And the lengths they are going to make sure that he is not going to have any chance to escape is absolutely insane. They're going to make sure there's no tunnels. There's no way for him to tunnel. There's no way for them, for any kind of brazen thing. Because the thought process is if he escapes, he's going straight back to Mexico or somewhere else. And the chances of ever seeing him because of the money he has would probably slim to none again. So they're going to do everything they can to make sure that this trial goes through and that there is no tainting of anybody associated with the case. Oh, it is crazy. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. We've got a poll question today, and it's about that N-word, and it's about Trump. And do you believe he said it? And if you do, does it even affect you? 35% say, yeah, you believe it. 31% says, no, I don't. 31% says, maybe he did, and so what? 3% say it's all lies. It's all lies, Chad. Chad, it's all lies. Take the poll at Chad Benson Show. You can tweet at us as well. You can text us, 323-538-2423. Your useless fact of the day, James Buchanan, 15th president of the United States, used to use his own money to buy slaves, and then he would order them free. People are like, that's nice. Well, slow down. He did it maybe because he thought it was the right thing to do, but a lot of it was because he wanted to be neutral in the slavery debate. So it made him, he used it in some ways to look better, and in other ways he used it because it helped him with his servants problem. Bizarre, I know, it is. But there's your useless fact of the day. Just saying. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Screw you guys. I'm going home. This is the Chad Benson Show.